I have to ask you, can you share any of the challenges that you've seen in your renovation projects? Do you have any
What
horror
challenges? Never. No, it's a part of it, and every house is different, every project is different, so it's inevitable that something's going to pop up. Part of our process is to conduct a scope review walkthrough with the installers on site, the project manager, the designer, the estimator, so that we have our team of people and we can say, this is what we're doing in this space. What might we come up against? Is there the possibility that there was a water issue here before and we're going to find something when we tear all this out? We like to anticipate those things so that we can account for them on the front end, so that when our homeowners go to contract with us, we've thought about all these things and we can minimize the surprises that we see in the field. We do have a change order guarantee where we cover the first $1,000 of unforeseen circumstances.
Wow.
So, in the event that those things happen, because they do, we'll pull things out and maybe find mold or find water damage from a leak, and it happens, especially in older homes. A lot of times we'll pull something out and be like, what on earth is that?
Yeah.
The amount of things I've seen, I tell people all the time, I could tell you everything I've seen and it wouldn't cover what's possible.
Right.
There's just, the possibilities are endless, right? So we like to just put that out there and say, we have your back. We know that there's a possibility we're going to find something, and in the event that we do, we're here for you.
Yeah, I've got one for you. We had a project where it was an old farmhouse that had been converted into living quarters.
Yeah.
And part of their project was to replace the siding, and when they ripped it off, there was no foundation.
Oh my gosh.
No foundation on the home. So we had to rework the entire project.
It's amazing it didn't just blow away.
Just literally on the soil.
I've had walls that our guys have pulled off and had empty beer cans fall out from the inside of the wall onto them, and it's just weird things like that we'll find.
Oh, goodness.
And that's more of a funny story than a challenge, but
it's scary. Somebody was drinking on the job while they were building her.
Right? Yeah, just throw it in the wall. It's fine, and slap some drywall up there and hide it.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Well, we do build in a contingency reserve on the financing.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of a cushion, depending on how large the project is. It could be a few $100s. It could be thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So we're prepared for some of that, but of course, if it's a major issue, you're probably going to blow right through contingency. So I love that you pre-plan in advance.
Yeah, it's important to just say, with our combined years of experience, none of us have X-ray vision. We would love to. We don't. But, if we can get out ahead of anything that we might be able to anticipate based on the plan of the project and the context of the house, then we can get out ahead of a lot of things.
So I have to ask if you have any suggestions for the audience, anybody who's looking to remodel, what would you suggest to set them up for success?
There's so many things going into it to consider, right? Not only what are we doing in the project, inspiration is always helpful. It's not necessarily a requirement, that's why we have designers on staff, but it's a helpful thing to have going into it. If you see a photo on Houzz or Pinterest that kind of dictates that we change the whole footprint of your space, it's going to be a much larger project going into it. So having those kinds of ideas in mind of what we're doing is really helpful. But beyond that, once we have those things identified, having an idea of what you're hoping to invest to make your dream come true is a huge part of it. I always have a really, direct budget conversation up front. Are we on the same page with what it's going to cost to achieve your goals and what you're hoping to spend, and maybe a financing option is something that they need to consider.
Yeah.
And we do have budget calculators on our website specific
to
kitchen and bath remodeling.
Okay.
So if you're looking to start a kitchen project, on our website there is this budget calculator that's based on the value of your home.
Okay.
So you can say, okay, what's it even remotely going to cost me to do what I want to do?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it can be helpful just even as a starting point. If you have no idea what it what it takes, we can be helpful in having those conversations. But it's a good starting point for sure.
You might be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be. The number of people who contact me and they say, "Hey, I'm looking for financing, and I want to do." I had one this week. I want to do a new addition and add 3 bedrooms and a bathroom, and I want to completely redesign the interior of our space and move the washing machine and dryer out of the kitchen and redesign the kitchen, yada yada. I think it'll cost $60,000 to $80,000. I'm like, I'm not a contractor. That sounds like a six-figure project to me.
Yeah. I mean, we have those conversations a lot.
Unrealistic expectations.
Yes, the expectations, the education up front, and the budget calculators on our website were created really for that reason.
Yeah.
They're backed with years of data of all the remodels we've done, in the city since 2004. So houses similar to yours in value, you're able to kind of say, okay, over the years, how much of those projects typically cost?
That is a great tool.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
I'm going to start sharing that.
Great.
So last question. I work in financing,
Sure.
and we use the home's value to obtain a renovation mortgage. So we're borrowing against the equity of a home, and those loans are backed by FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, USDA. I mean, we're talking about governmental, quasi-governmental agencies, and they come with regulations. So the contractors that are hired to do work on those projects, we've got to vet them. We have to make sure that they're properly licensed.
Absolutely.
They have the right insurance, liability, and workers' comp. If any lead-based paint is involved, lead-based paint certification would be an issue, or mold or asbestos. I'm sure you run into that from time to time. So basically, we're checking credentials. And then there are bid requirements on top of that most of the programs require the contractor to break out labor and materials on the bid. We get so much pushback from contractors. Would your company be willing to work with financing like that?
We get requests all the time where we have to fill out, a questionnaire or provide documentation of our liability, workers' comp insurance, those kinds of things, and we're happy to do it.
So it's not uncommon?
Not uncommon, no.
Okay. I sometimes feel like I'm asking for a blood sample.
Give me your firstborn child.
Right? I love it, yeah. So that wouldn't prevent you from working with renovation financing?
Right. We understand that there are, certain things that people need to make projects happen, and we want your project to happen too. It's a matter of finding what works for everybody and making sure that all parties are taken care of.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much again for having us today.
Welcome.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, you're welcome to come in anytime.
Love it. Thank you.